All right. Hello, Tom. How's it going today?
How are you, ma'am? Thank you so much for having me on, and it's an honor, my pleasure to be sitting here and talking to you today.
I'm glad to have you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
hmm So, where we like to always begin is tell us about your story. Where does your story begin? I know you have an interesting one.
Yeah, my story's a little bit all over the place, like we were just talking. I've lived a very interesting life. I don't even know where to begin. I guess I'll just throw out from the beginning. I'll start from the
Yes, take
beginning.
us
I'll
from
just
the
throw it all
beginning.
out. So, my whole family, interesting background. My parents are Italian. So my grandparents, my aunts and uncles, they were all born in Italy. Um, Moved to America in the 50s. Actually, it's a really, really interesting story. They originally came in I believe the 20s. My grandmother's parents, my great grandparents, they went back to Italy for several years, and then they came back to America in the 50s. My mom and dad were both born in Italy, in Calabria, Italy, Sant'Andrea, Catanzaro, southern Italy, not too far from Sicily, if you know Italy. They're both down on the southern end. So my parents came here. They had two respective families. I think one in 56, maybe one in 58. My father, you know, really, my mom and dad really are my whole family is really just the model of American, I don't want to use the word capitalism, the American dream. My father came here. Both my parents worked. My mom was working. She was going to high school. She started working. She was 15 or 16 years old.
Wow.
Back in the day, it was I'm not sure which order, 9X, Bell Atlantic. And then it turned into Verizon. So my mom was there for years. She retired as a manager from Verizon.
hmm
My dad, and you have to excuse me, my allergies are killing me. Even in the winter, I'm
No
like
worries.
sniffling all over the place.
No worries.
Um, my dad has kind of a similar story. He went to school. He went to night school, and he worked all day with his father at a garage a shop. He learned a lot about auto mechanics, um, fixing engines, transmissions. He was really good at it, and he did that a couple of years. I'd say about 7 years into being in America. He was drafted into the Vietnam War during the Vietnam
hmm
War era, um, and he suffered an injury during
hmm
training. So he uh, he wasn't able to do heavy work
hmm
anymore at that point, like he was doing with the cars, changing transmissions, engines. So he went to work at Alitalia Airline. He became a manager at the airline, the Italian airline, and he was there for I believe over 30 years. He retired from there, um, and just a different world. My parents really, really paid their dues when they came here. They
Yeah.
struggled. They weren't given anything back in those days. You were given nothing, um, and they worked for everything. And it's amazing how you come to this country with literally zero. My both sides of my family, my mom's side, my dad's side, they weren't affluent. They weren't affluent at all. Um, but it's nice to know later on in your life you have a beautiful house in Long Island. You have vacation
All of
home
this.
in South Carolina. You have money, you have assets, you have investments, and it's nice to know that you work towards certain things. And
More rewarding.
exactly,
hmm
exactly. So that's basically my background. I was
hmm
born in Brooklyn, New York. Lived there for a couple of years. Moved to Long Island when I was young, but I was always back and forth because my family was there, my grandparents, my aunts. Um, Went to high school, college,
hmm
graduate school in New York. Moved to Maryland for a while. I was a police officer in Maryland. Was also a New York State peace officer in New York for a long time. In Brooklyn, New York. So yeah, I have a lifelong martial artist.
Oh,
Martial arts are
interesting.
yeah, huge part of my life. I love it ever since I was a child. Um, Pit bull rescue dad. I love pit bulls. I adore them. Um, Book author.
So you have a
Law,
lot going.
yeah, law
Yeah.
school student. I'm finishing up my. I finished up my third year of law school. I have 1 year left.
Oh, that's
So
great.
thank you. That's just a little bit about me. I hate talking about myself, so that's it.
No, keep going.
No,
No,
that's it.
no.
So now I'd like to, like we discussed earlier, I'd love to talk about, the women in my life, the strong women that have brought me to where I am today. So please ask
Yeah.
whatever.
Before we go into that story, I just have to ask, like, your time in the police force, anything interesting that you
Anything
experienced or
interesting.
seen that you'd
Um,
like to share anyway?
so I worked in Baltimore City for a while,
Hmm.
and then I transferred out to the county, Montgomery County. I was also a New York State peace officer in Brooklyn, New York, Seagate Police Department for a long time. Um, I think anytime you work in a place like Baltimore City,
Hmm.
Detroit, New York City in the 70s and 80s, you know, just these tough crime infested times and, crime infested places, you're always going to have stories to tell. Like I have more stories.
Yeah.
There's so many stories you could just go on for days and days and days and days.
Write a book about it.
Yeah,
Right.
it does exactly. Write a book about it. It doesn't end. So yeah, I have some crazy stories I'll never forget.
Any that stand out, like just
Yeah,
one of
I
them?
mean, so many things just running through my head. But one of the things that just thinking about right now, I'm sitting in my beautiful house in Long Island.
Hmm.
Every corner there's $1 million plus house. Um, and then you go and you get dropped into a place like Baltimore, and you literally have 15, 20,000 abandoned row homes, people living in boarded buildings with
Hmm.
rats. Um, and it's almost hard to believe that in America there's that divide,
Hmm.
and it's all over the East Coast, the West Coast. You have extremes, highs and lows, right? And
Hmm.
that was just really eye opening for me. I mean, I'm a New York guy. I've seen a lot,
Hmm.
but
Yeah.
a lot. But I think it's a little different when you're in it, when you're walking a footbeat, when you're working
Yeah.
there. Um, Baltimore is a different animal. It's a strange place, especially for the United States. It's almost hard to
Hmm.
believe sometimes we have places like that. But that's what comes to my mind.
Hmm.
The poverty, the crime, um, just how different it is from the disconnect from the everyday living that people like
Hmm.
me, I don't know, I can't speak for you, but that some people live and others don't, you know?
Yeah.
Um, that disconnect is what really sticks with me.
So yeah, I can imagine some of the stories. I've heard stories about
Yeah.
the crime rate there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can imagine. Okay. So in listening to some of your story, it sounds like you had a great family structure, great supportive parents, and they
Yes.
worked hard and showed you the value of working hard. Tell us about your mom and, just how she's inspired you and supported you on your journey, your mom, any other woman in your life or
So it's not
people.
it's not just my mom. It's
Right.
I've been surrounded. So first of all, first and foremost, my mom, right? Like she's just, don't get me wrong, she gets on my nerves like every other parent gets on every
Right.
other kid's nerves. But I would, without hesitation, I'd jump in front of a train for my mom. Um, my whole life is her. Like, I'm sorry, her whole life is me. It's the
Mhm.
opposite. Her whole life is revolved around me ever since I was a little kid, and she's just selfless.
Mhm.
And she'll do anything for me, give me anything I want, whatever she has. And she worked so hard, her whole life. She wasn't the typical traditional Italian American woman, old school. staying home. She was up every day, taking the train to the city, going to Brooklyn or Manhattan.
Hmm.
Um, that ride from the Long Island Railroad to the city is tough, and then back,
That's a lot.
yeah, every day. Or later on in her career, she got moved out to Long Island, but she really paid her dues in the beginning, for a long time.
What was the
And
commute?
big time commute.
Like
You,
a 1 hour, 2 hours? Yeah,
you're adding on an extra 3 or 4 hours every
that's
day just in
insane.
the commute.
Yeah.
So you're working, 8, 10, 12 hours a day, and then you're putting on another 4 hours. And then she always made sure I was at my baseball game. She always made sure I
Mm.
had what I wanted, whatever toy I wanted as I got older, whatever stereo system, Nintendo system, entertainment system.
Oh.
You know, we weren't rich, but I never wanted for anything.
Hmm.
Never. I always had what I wanted. I had excess. And that was because my mom and dad, and my mom
Yeah.
really, my dad always worked, hard worker, but my mom really kept it together. She was the one.
Mm.
She did everything. She did the bills. She cooked. She made sure I got where I had to go. She really was the
That
focal point.
matriarch.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah,
she
the
really
family
was.
matriarch.
She
Mm.
was. And I can't say enough about her. And her sisters, my aunts, they were all the same. My aunt Vicky,
Uh,
my aunt Angie, my aunt Mary, my aunt Nutza that passed.
I'm
Um,
sorry.
yeah, no, thank you. I mean, just amazing women, just amazing women. All cut from the pretty much this very similar, the same cloth. Crazy story.
Hmm.
My aunt Nutza, we call Nutza in Italian. It's Kathy. My
Hmm.
aunt Kathy, my mother's older sister that passed. We had when my parents came to America originally. My mom was young; she was a kid. Her sisters were older, and Kathy was Nutza was older. So we had a grandmother that was very sick, and my aunt Nutza, she had health issues. She was almost disabled herself, but she
Hmm.
stayed behind in Italy for 10 years by
Oh.
herself while her entire family, all her brothers and sisters, mother and
Came here.
father came to America. She stayed there for
Hmm.
10 years to take care of her grandmother. And
That's
that's the type,
beautiful.
yeah, it's incredible. And that's the type of
Hmm.
selflessness, unselfish behavior, that type of blood that runs in my mother's family.
Mm.
And another one, I grew up with my cousin Lisa. She's basically my sister. I
Hmm.
couldn't, she helped me through my whole cancer struggle. She pushed me when I don't want to
Oh,
continue.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
she's too young to say she's like a second mother, but she really is. She's 10 years older than me. She's my big sister. And if it wasn't for her, I kind of would have gave up, I'll be honest, because it was a really tough stage 4
Hmm.
cancer. It
Oh,
was horrible.
man.
It was
Oh, I'm
horrible.
sorry.
So yeah, I have some wonderful, strong, loving, smart, giving women in my life, and I'll never I'll never forget that. I'll never underestimate their worth. I'll never forget what they did for me. And I thank God every day for people like that in my life.
Yeah, you're blessed. I have to ask, it sounds like it carries just through the generations, like where your grandparents like that with your mom and aunts and just like that strong, like the
My
stories.
grandmother, I
Hmm.
was so tight to my mother, so close to my mother's mother, my grandmother
Mm.
Kathy, and I also was tight with my. I was blessed. My father's mother. Um, I was so lucky, so
Yeah.
blessed actually. My father's mother lived till she was 97. My
Wow.
Yeah, my mother's mother lived till she was 103, and I loved them both, and they were great women. Um, my aunt Marie on my father's side, just great person. I grew up with so many great family members.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. It's weird when you're in a certain situation. That's all you know.
Hmm.
So to me, I think everybody lives like that. Everybody has these unbelievable role models, female role models, male role models, whatever in their life. But it's not always true. I really am blessed. I've had amazing people in my life.
Hmm. It just makes me wonder, just out of curiosity, I was going to ask this question a little bit later, but in hearing your story about your family and how close-knit they like are there like special traditions and things that that family does to keep the family strong? Because it sounds like you guys have a very strong family dynamic.
So it's kind of it's a little, it's sad, a little depressing. It's life.
Mm,
As you go on, people pass, people pass away, people move on, people move to different states. Um, Things are different now. You know, uh, People pass away, like I said, loved ones. People move to Florida, they move back to Italy, they move wherever they're gonna, wherever. You lose some of that, not because you want to lose it, but distance. Like I said,
mhm,
people pass. So, thank God I still have my mom and dad. I still have some of my aunts and uncles. Um, and we do try to keep things together. But with certain, my mom had a big family. She had eight brothers and
mhm.
sisters. My dad had
Yes.
four. Yeah.
Hmm.
But as you get older, like you still love everybody, you care about everybody, but you don't see people as much. This one's doing
Right.
this. This one's got six kids. This one's got. There's very few that I actually spend significant time with. And that's not because you don't like them or there's issues. Sometimes there's issues. There's always issues in families, but for the most part, it's more because people are busy. They have their own life. They get distant. Who's in law school? Who's working 50 hours, 100 hours a week? Who's got four kids? Baseball
Hmm.
games, this, that. So once my grandmother died on my mother's side, things changed.
Mm,
She was kind of the rock
the
that kept
glue.
everything together.
Yeah.
But I try myself. I always try to keep a relationship with my mother's family and my father's side, my aunts, and at least the aunts and uncles. I try to always communicate with them because they were a very big part of my life when I was growing up.
Hmm.
You
Okay.
know,
So it sounds like then your grandmother, she probably was the type of woman that would do the family dinners and make sure to get the family together, and that's what kept you guys all tight for so long.
so it's so funny because my grandmother had her house, little house,
Hmm.
in Long Island. She lived there with my aunt Nutza, my Kathy Nutza,
Hmm.
and it was the two of them. But you would go there, and at any given moment, there could be one person, one grandson, granddaughter, niece, nephew, daughter, son, or there could be 20 people. And it was so funny because I just remember, like, on a Friday afternoon after work, when I was younger, we'd all get together at my grandmother's, we'd have dinner, my
Hmm.
cousins, my aunts, my uncles, and barbecue in the backyard during the
Hmm.
summer. And that kind of was like the central point. She kind of
Hmm.
brought everybody together.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, I miss that. But like I said, that's life, right?
Yeah,
People,
it
people,
is.
people move on. We'll see them again in the afterlife.
Yeah, you will. And then also too, up to us to carry some of those traditions, just
Yeah,
reinvigorate some of that. So awesome.
yeah, yeah.
So you mentioned having cancer
Yes,
and what I hope you're in remission today and what was
yes,
it? Okay,
yeah,
good.
yeah. Thank God. So I'm in remission, going on 2 years. I'm on my second year.
Thank God.
Yeah, thank God is right. It was pretty bad, really bad. I had stage four lymphoma cancer. I had a
Mm,
tumor in my lymph node in my throat, a big tumor on my T5 vertebrae that was breaking my back, and I went through a lot. Uh, Minor surgeries, catheters, cut me open. Um, what do they call that? Spinal taps, bone punctures, chemo, radiation. 23 straight days in the hospital with this new treatment called CAR T cell therapy. Um, it was bad,
Mm,
getting sick all the time because my immune system is super low. Heading to the hospital, getting being stuck in the hospital because I was sick. Um, it was bad. I don't wish that
mm.
on anybody, and you know, through the grace of God, I made it through, and I'm a strong guy, so I made it through. But a lot of people wouldn't, you know.
Anything that you feel you did differently to help you carry yourself through? Did you have any like dietary changes? Was it the love and support that was there alongside you? Like,
Um, so like I said, if it wasn't for certain people like you know my mom, my cousin Lisa,
hmm
I wouldn't. And of course, there's no way. People can feel how they want to feel and say what they want to say and believe what they want to believe. There's no way you're making it through something like that without the grace of God, without God um,
hmm
leading you through
hmm
and being your rock and pushing you through, getting you through it.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, like I said, God pulled me through. But then, of course, my cousin, my mom, my cousin Christine, she was there for me. Certain family members, they all helped out. My cousin Dom, he used to take me for my chemo.
hmm
My whole family, really, they looked out for me. Of course, some people more than others, but yeah, I don't know. I think if you're not strong mentally, if you're not strong physically, if you don't have a good support system, if you don't have your faith, I don't know if you make it through something like that.
mm that's good. Wow. Thank goodness you're still here with us today and that you did
Thank
have the
you.
love and support, around you,
Thank
because
you.
I can see how that can be so valuable and help one through something like that.
Thank you so
So,
much.
mhm. So just thinking back to your parents, your mom, your father, your aunts, what traits do you feel that you've carried from them? Like what are the stronger, what traits do you see in yourself?
I think I'm very kind.
Mhm.
I'm
Yep.
very giving. I'm very giving. But I have a complete other side. I'm very strong.
hmm
I'm super alpha. And, we joke, me and my friends basically, when the zombie apocalypse hits, you call me and my
It's
friends,
gonna.
people like us, I feel,
hmm
because no matter how scary something is, no matter how annoying it is, I'm going to go forward. That's just who I
hmm
am. I don't, I taught myself, at an early age, I don't like to back down to fearful things that make me fearful. I don't like to back down to challenges. I'd rather look myself in the mirror and say, listen, I gave it my best shot. I failed, but I gave it 100%.
I
I
like
don't
that.
ever, yeah, I don't ever like to give up on something at this point. I did that when I was younger. A lot of times I took the easy road and I backed away from certain things that were frightening, so to speak, intimidating, and I felt horrible about it. But I learned, and That's what made me who I am today. So I think that my family made me, very caring, loving, smart, but they also made me very strong.
hmm
Very. I'm not a pushover. I'm not that guy. I never
hmm
will be. I'm not. I don't want to be. And
Right.
and that's who I am.
hmm I can hear it just from what you shared in the beginning about them
Yeah,
coming over here and how strong they had to be all those years and
you have to.
resilience to
Yeah,
working as long as they did. So, yeah, I can see that. Awesome.
yeah. They lived a different life.
hmm
Even one generation. My mom, to me, I was sheltered. I had it all. Just one generation.
I know
It's
how much has
crazy.
changed.
So much has changed, but at least I know it and I have the stories and it
hmm
shaped me and molded me.
Yep.
Um, I guess that's kind of like why sometimes it's a catch 22. Sometimes it's an amazing quality to be driven. Sometimes it's too much. You got to stop. And that's the counterbalance that I have a problem with. And I get that from my family too. It's like it's always the next thing. Like, okay, let's go to college. Let's get a bachelor's degree. Okay, let's get a master's degree. Okay, let's get a master's degree plus. Okay, let's let,
Keep
let's
going.
get let's get a law degree. Um, and it's like sometimes it's like, dude, you're 50 now. Oh, let's go get a black belt. Let's train martial arts. Let's get a black belt. Let's get another black belt. And it's like it keeps you going, but sometimes you just gotta smell the roses and relax.
So true, so true.
Yeah,
Yeah, I could totally get that. That was actually a lesson I had to learn to just
yeah.
like sit back and slow down and appreciate the journey along the way. So, yeah, so true.
You just said it. Appreciate the journey. Sometimes we're so caught up with this, that, and the next thing. You blink and you're 50 years old. Like I just turned 50 in October, and I don't even like to talk about it. It makes me so depressed.
A number.
It is a number, but you know what?
I know.
We're not going to get into it. That number, the higher the number is, the older you are. But
Yeah.
the closer you are to what, I don't want to talk about it. But yeah, sometimes you just got to sit back and say, listen, stop. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're a doctor, a lawyer, a cop, a garbage man, a senator. It doesn't matter. You know, breathe, breathe. Go see a
Hmm.
movie. Go fishing. Go do something. Just relax a little bit because you get so caught up in bull. I was about to curse. Excuse me.
Oh, you're good. You're
I was about to say you get so caught up in BS.
good.
Next thing you know, you're 75 years old and you're like, what happened?
Yeah, it does go fast, too fast. My family, we talk about that often too. It just a blink,
Yeah,
snap of the finger.
it's
Wow.
true.
So I know you're doing some interesting work now. You've got a book, law school. How has your story and your past and the influence in your life shaped or pivoted you to the work that you're doing now, I guess?
So my upbringing has influenced me in everything I do tremendously,
Hmm.
tremendously. I mean, everything I do, I do with, how do I even articulate this? I try to live my life. I try to live my life as a Christian. Don't
Hmm.
get me wrong. I do some dumb, you know what? I've made mistakes that I'm not proud of and I apologize for. I ask God for forgiveness all the time, but I try to live a Christian life, a just life, and I try to treat people the way I'd want to be treated.
Hmm.
And that was instilled in me through my parents.
Hmm.
They sent me to Catholic school, to private school. They broke their butt working to be able to pay for that. You know,
Hmm.
um, so I think my whole upbringing, my Christian upbringing, my lifestyle, it's all because of the people I've been around.
Hmm. Interesting. Your book, though, a little bit about your book was like what influenced the book and your decision to go back to law school.
So now, when you talk about what influenced me to write the book,
Hmm.
it's a funny story. I've said it before. I literally was just sitting home with an ex-girlfriend of mine one night, and I said, you know
Hmm.
what? She was asking me because people that don't work in law enforcement, a lot of people love like police procedural shows, right? Like
Hmm. Yep.
48 Hours, Law and Order, this and that. If you don't know that world, if you're not in that world, it's very entertaining for the masses, right?
Hmm.
It's like a train wreck. People love to hate it, but they have to watch it.
True.
A car accident, right? God forbid, but it's the truth. Um, So she used to ask me all kind of questions. What did you see? What went on? And I just sit there and tell her stuff, and she'd be like, "What?" Like, like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, you know what? I want to write a book. I want to write a memoir of stuff for people that don't get it, like you. Not
Hmm.
you, like my
Yeah,
ex. I'm
yeah.
saying, um, she was a professional in her field, and I didn't experience what she went through. But 99% of people don't experience what I went through. So I
Hmm.
said, you know what? I'm just going to start writing. I'm just going to start journaling notes. And that's how it started. I started writing notes,
Mm.
boom, 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 on this date, blah, 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 blah. Then I started checking out my old reports, police reports, this and that. And before you know it, I had like 500 pages.
Wow.
And I'm like, holy smoke, this is crazy. Um, so that's really how it went down. Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
I usually like to connect with any of the guests, like look into the work you're doing, get the book and all that. So I look
Appreciate
forward
it.
to reading
Appreciate your
it.
support. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Was that also the reason you decided to go back to law school, just kind of being inspired by your writings?
No, so now that's a totally separate. Um, so to keep it brief on this topic, I when I was in college, when I was younger, I always either wanted to work in law enforcement or I wanted to go to law school. I wound up getting a job in law enforcement, and I just didn't have time. I didn't. I was
Hmm.
working. I was working. In the police academy, you don't have any time. I went through two police academies, and then I was working midnight. I had to go to court most mornings because Baltimore was crazy. We were always making an arrest. Then I was working a second job. I was the head of security to make extra money. So I just had no time. When I retired early due to some health issues and an injury sustained at work. I said to myself, we only live once. Let me give this a shot. I said,
Hmm.
let me try this. And to tell you the truth, not to get into this isn't really the platform for it, but the name of my book, The Good, the Bad, the Corrupt. Um, Law enforcement wasn't what I thought it was going to be, wasn't what I wanted it to be. I just
Hmm.
saw too much nonsense. And truthfully, I'm glad I'm out. I just, it's not for me. Just the politics and the BS, it's just not for me. And the
Hmm.
backstabbing. Um, and I said to myself, you know what? I want this to come out the right way. Not that I wanted something better, because I'm not an elitist like that. I don't talk like that. But I wanted something maybe different, better for me.
Hmm.
So I said, and my parents used to always tell me, Tom, why don't you go to law school? You're a smart guy, you have the aptitude, just try it. And my grandparents, they used to push me, and I was like, no, I want to be a policeman, blah 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 blah. So that's how I got to it. When I
Hmm.
retired, I said, let me give this a shot.
I actually love that though. It's inspiring because it just shows you had the drive and you're just continuing forward, like,
Thank you,
there's something I wanted to do and I'm just gonna make sure I get it done. And then it'll
thank you.
be, I'm sure, rewarding work for you eventually. So,
Yeah, it's where do I even begin? I guess everybody has their own take on law school. But I will say from my experience, it's almost all consuming, all encompassing.
mhm.
It's super, super hard. It's just
Mhm.
every day. Do you remember for what was the name of that movie? Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Do you remember when he's in
Yes.
Bueller, Bueller,
Yeah.
Bueller, Bueller? It's like literally my eyes glaze over, and I'm like, ugh, like every day. There are things that are super interesting in the law, and then there's things that are just like, oh, so boring
I can imagine. I think about the paperwork and
and so
looking
hard
through
to
them.
understand. It's mental gymnastics, it's torture. Um, so I don't want to say that I wish I never did it. I'm glad I did it, but I'm going to be really glad when it's over because
Yeah.
I'm finishing my third year. I'm sick of it. Like I'm done. I just want to finish and just get away, just throw the books away for a while. That's it.
Right, right.
Take a break.
You'll deserve it too after
Yeah.
those 3 hard
Yeah.
years.
Four. It's four.
3, 4.
My program is 4 years, and then I got to study for
Okay.
the bar exam. But it's very difficult.
Mm,
There may be some people out there. The amount of people, if you look at the statistics, the amount of people that graduate from law school and pass the bar exam, it's so minute. You hear people say, "Oh, there's so many lawyers." Compared to the population, is next to nothing because it's
yeah.
so difficult. For many reasons. It's time consuming. It's this. It's that. Um, Mentally taxing. But yeah, I let's just put it this way. I can't wait for it to be over.
Yeah,
I
I don't
can't.
blame
I can't.
you. I don't blame you. But will it be rewarding though afterwards when you're done
Yes.
looking back? But I can imagine just the journey of school. I know when I did my master's, I was like, oh, I felt the same way. I just couldn't
Yeah.
wait for it to be done.
Yeah. Master,
I used to like
masters,
it.
masters was tough. I did my masters. I finished in 2001, I believe. But for me, every program's different. But for
Yeah.
me, like, and I'm not saying your experience, someone else's experience, my experience, undergrad, graduate school, it was like compared to what I'm going through now, for me,
Yeah.
it was nothing. Like this is,
True.
but I'm not saying your program, I don't know what you went to school for. Like, if you go to school for physics, if you go to school for rocket science, if you go to school for, engineering, that's extremely mentally taxing and difficult. So I can't talk for anyone else. I just know compared to my experience, what I went to school for, criminology, psychology, this is a lot more taxing on me.
More
It's
intense, it seems,
yes,
because you have a
yes,
lot out to learn all the laws and yeah,
yeah,
and all the paperwork that goes
difficult.
into it.
It's
Yeah, I
difficult.
can imagine. Oh, but this was good. This was a great discussion. And wrapping up, where I usually like to end our discussion is if you can impart words of wisdom to our next generation, what would you say? And then where can our guests find you?
Okay, very important. I think men and women are 100% equal, but different. I think not to get into politics, I think a certain segment of society is trying to twist things to make that not true.
Mm,
And you cannot debate science, facts. You can't. Either,
mhm,
I'm not going to get into whatever. I'm trying to stay off certain topics. Men and women are equal. 100%. God made man and woman,
mhm,
but we're different, right? We're
mhm.
different. You cannot deny that men and women are different. And I don't know why anybody would want to. It's just bizarre to me.
Great.
You're a woman. I'm a man. We are different. We're equal in a sense where if you take our halves, if you and me and you combine them, that's what God did. He made man and woman to be together, right? But we're different. We have different body structures, different temperaments, different, makeups. So I do believe that I'm a big believer in, and some people might find this offensive, but I don't care because this is how I came up. It's huge to me. I'm a big believer in the family value and family
Mm,
structure. I'm a
mhm,
huge believer in that. You know, if you're blessed to have male role models, positive male role models, if you're blessed to have female role models, that's amazing. That's to me, that's optimal. That's
mhm.
you
Agreed.
want to have you want to have both because that's what teaches you to be a man, so to speak. That's what
Mhm,
teaches you to treat a woman like a woman.
mhm.
You understand what I'm saying?
I
So
do.
I don't know why some people find that offensive today. Like when you talk about the family structure, a close family, like some people they flip out. No, no, I don't get it. I think family is very important.
Hmm.
I'll always believe that. You know, be a good role model for the generations coming up. I had amazing role models. I try to be that way for my cousins, you
Hmm.
know, for the people coming up younger than me.
Hmm.
That's just how I feel. Um, Men and women are equal. Again, moral of the story: men and women are equal, but different, and they should both be valued equally.
Hmm. I love that. That's great words of wisdom.
Yeah,
I love it.
and I don't know why so many people, not so many people, but some people have a problem with that type of ideology. We're both equal, but we're just different. We don't all have
Hmm.
to do the same thing. You know, women
Right.
don't have to do what men do. Men don't have to do what women do. If you want to, great. If you don't, you don't. But I don't know why like people get upset like with the traditional family and things like that. It's very strange to me the way this world is is
Where we're
taking its.
headed.
Yeah, I just don't understand any of it anymore, honestly.
No, I agree. It's up to us, I think, to kind of continue and bringing that messaging out. So
Yeah,
I love that you shared that. So thank you for that.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. And where can folks find you?
So, like I said, I hate to do this because I don't like to talk about myself. You literally just Google my name, Thomas Carchidi, Tommy Carchidi. You'll see me pop up everywhere. Excuse me. I'm on. I hope you don't have allergies. They're terrible.
A little bit I do. I
Sorry.
was like my eyes watering a little.
Um, Basically, you can look up my website, Life in Law Enforcement. Uh, you can look me up on Facebook. You can look me up on Instagram.
Okay.
I'm all over. Oh, Amazon. My book's on Amazon. My book, just Googling the name of my book, A Life in Law Enforcement, The Good, the Bad, the Corrupt, a police memoir, and you'll see me pop up.
Awesome. I'll make sure to include all that information in the show notes. So
Thank
awesome.
you so
Thank you.
much. Thank you.
All right. So glad to have you here. Great
It was
conversation.
my pleasure.
All right. Until next time.
Thank you.
All right.